Yo, guys, it's the kid. So we're coming in here with something a little bit new. I think a lot of you guys said that you want. Okay, so I'm hearing myself in the background, guys. Somebody, please mute your background. Turn down your background noise. I don't want to hear myself in the background. So we're back here again, live show, but this is something a little bit different. A lot of you guys kept asking that, man, make this open. We want to join, and I've heard many guys that say they want to join, the hangout. So I said, let's do it. This was an open hangout, open to anyone, because I think what's going to happen is the Sunday hangouts is strictly for the regulars. It's strictly for the regular cats who you've known for like the past few years. But for Fridays, I want this to be open to other guys who can't get on the show on a Sunday. So let's roll through. So before, I had my main topics, as you can see in the title, but someone tweeted me. So someone links me to a tweet by 11 Sports. So as well know, 11 Sports, they are the ones who are responsible for so 11 Sports are responsible for La Liga games. So they then linked into to me, and they said that there's a deal been agreed between Gareth Bale and a Chinese club, Xinguang. It's something like Xinguang. So, and he's going to be netting like 22 million euros a year. So that is the apparent rumor. So before we get to that, I think I'm saying, so KT7, you need to go on Twitter. If you go on Twitter, I put out a tweet of those that want to join. Hazem has opened up a group for those who want to join. You have to tweet at him, get into the group, and then you'll then see the link to the group in Twitter where you can join in on the hangout. So remember, guys, this is open to anyone. All you need to do is just click the link, and then it's open to anybody who wants to join. So, so let me start with this, because I know what I think about this, and I know what I think about Bill with this. So let me start with Jay. If Bill goes to China, how will you view him as a professional player? So I said Jay, is your mic working? Jay. Okay, it's not working. So Chronicler, if he goes to so Chronicler, if he goes to China, how will you view Bill if he actually ends up going to China? Hello, Chronicler, are you there? Okay, he's not there. DC, are you there?
Yo, I'm here.
Okay, so DC, because look, I think guys can work. So DC, if Bale goes to China, how do you think he'll be viewed?
I think, look, Bale had great moments at Real Madrid, but I don't think he was like a great player that will be talked about for a long time. So I think going to China won't change anybody's opinion about him. And that's the only
Wait. How does going to China, which is pretty much a retirement home, not change anyone's perception of Bale? How the hell does that work?
Because right now there is no other club that will take him with the kind of money he's asking. Real Madrid don't want him. Spurs can't afford him. The only place he can actually go is China.
Yeah, Jimmy can hear you. Okay, I'm just waiting for DC. So, okay, so you're saying that because the only place that can take him is China, you feel that. So you still feel that Bale is still an elite player, even if he plays for a club in China.
He's not an elite player anymore, but I think right now it's the best option for him, and yeah, that's the only place he can go.
Okay. All right, so Jay, what about you? Your thoughts on if Bale goes to China, how do you think he will be viewed?
Well, for me, he's going to be viewed a lot differently. I don't see him as a top player anymore. I think this is the best option for him because I can't see him playing in the Premier League.
Why not? So why can't he play at Man United?
You know what, he could, but the problem is I see the Premier League as such an intense league. You know, the tackles are flying in, guys get hurt. I don't think his knees could stand up to it. You know, he's very injury prone. I think
Hmm.
this is the best option for him as a personal decision.
Whoa.
Footballer.
Okay, let me. Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. Karen, DJ, Karen.
I think this is the best decision for him as a personal decision, but not as a footballer. As a personal decision, this is the best decision because what else could he do? He's gonna go. He's gonna go get the money. He's not. He's still got a lot of play in him. He's still got a lot of class in him, but he's not worth. If for me, in my opinion, he's not worth a lot of money to go to Man United or a Tottenham or a big club like that. So, but as a footballer level, I look at him a lot differently because yeah, you're gonna be playing in China, dude. You're not in the class of the Neymars and the Messis and the Cristianos. I'm no longer going to put you in that class anymore.
Okay, so do you believe that so you don't believe that he's good enough to go to like a Man United or a Bayern Munich? Do you think that a Bayern Munich should have gone for him?
He's good enough, but is he worth the money with the injuries? In my opinion, if I'm the director of a Bayern Munich or a Man United, I'm not spending $100 million on Gareth Bale. I'm just not doing it.
Okay, well, Bessie, my view on it is this, and it's pretty simple. It's like if, and this is what I said for most players who have gone to China, if you if you end up going to China, you've pretty much admitted that you're a loser. And that's just the fact of the matter. You're pretty much admitted that you're a loser because I actually believe that Bill still has something. Because remember, Bill was never a technically proficient player. We never needed that from him. We never wanted that from him. That was never on the agenda. All that we needed from Bill is this guy can shoot from 40, 50 yards. I can score from anywhere. We don't need you to dribble. We don't need you to create. We don't even need to use your footballing brain. All we need for you to do is just score a goal from a crazy place, and that's it. So I really felt that Bill could have gone to ban, but you know what? I believe is because I don't believe what DC says. I don't believe it's a case of where um this was the only option for him. No, this was the only club that was willing to pay him the amount he wanted to get paid. And for me, I think we have to admit that Bill is a gold digger. He's a gold digger. All he wants is money. Like, like this, there is no better example of all this dude wants is merely money and nothing more. And I just think that it's quite shameful. And we'll see what happens, but I just think it's actually quite shameful and quite embarrassing that this is where he's ending up. So let's just get back to our main topics right now. And our first topic is your boy Paulo Dybala. So apparently, Juventus have rejected a 50 million bid from Tottenham for your boy Paulo Dybala. Now, the question is this. First of all, I'll give it to you, Jay. So if what price do you think Juventus should sell Dybala for, or do you think that they shouldn't sell him at all and they should keep him for next season?
If I'm Juve, I'm keeping Dybala for next season as a guy who could come in and be depth on the bench because they're looking to win the Champions League. That's the ultimate goal. I agree with you. Serie A doesn't mean anything. You can win the Serie A again. You can do a decade of trophies. It doesn't mean anything. You have to win the Champions League. It's just that simple. And Dybala would be depth off the bench for them in order to achieve that goal. Now, if he felt like he needed to go and he came with a transfer request to the club, for me, he's worth at least $80 million. No less. I'm not selling for 50. I'm not selling for 60. 80 million minimum in order to get him out of the club.
So you're saying 80 minimum?
Yeah, 80 million minimum.
Oh, okay. DC, what about you? What price do you think Dybala should be sold for, or do you think that Juventus should not sell him at all?
I think Juve should definitely sell him because I don't think he fit in Sarri's system, but I also don't think Spurs really need him that much. I don't know where he would fit in that Spurs lineup. Pochettino plays a 4-2-3-1, and he already has Son, more Kane to play in those positions. So maybe off the bench. But if Spurs really wanted him, I wouldn't spend more than 70 on him.
But I think if we're rolling with a 4-2-3-1, I think the idea is Eriksen may be going, and Dybala may slot in where Eriksen is. So I think your three would be Son, either Moura or Dele Alli, and then in the middle Dybala.
But is he the creative midfielder that they need?
No. Okay, so are you telling me that Dybala isn't better than Dele Alli? Or are you telling me that Dele Alli is better than Dybala? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, he's not. He is, but I don't think he's that much better for him to get a starting place to his first lineup.
Okay, so let me switch things out. So let me get back to you, Jay. If you're Dybala, what do you do? So you see, they brought in Rabiot, new manager, new flex. If you're Dybala, do you stay for this other season with the chance that you may actually be on the bench, or do you go to Tottenham where you're guaranteed a starting spot? What would you do? Stay with Juventus or go to Tottenham? Jay?
If I'm Dybala, I go to Tottenham simply because we live in a world where the players is more about marketability than it is about necessarily playing football. We look at footballers as we want to see the play on the field, we want to see you do great things, but for these guys, it's about marketability and it's about getting your name out there. There's nothing much more he can do at Juve. If Sarri's not going to play him or he doesn't fit the system, like DC says, or he's going to come off the bench, what more does that do for him?
So okay, but you realize that Tottenham would be a step down, though. You do realize that
it's a step down, but at least it's a chance to do something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I guess it becomes the question: would you rather come off the bench for a Champions League final contender club, or start for a team that will probably finish around third or fourth in the Premier League?
Okay. So, Mr. Yas, is your mic working there? Yas. Okay, I don't think we have Yas there. So let me get back to DC. If you're Dybala, do you stay at Juventus or do you go to Tottenham and play with Pochettino and Kane?
If I'm Dybala, I would definitely go to Spurs. Playing under Mauricio Pochettino, he would improve him more and more.
So I think it would be better to play under Pochettino than playing under Maurizio Sarri, who just won a Europa League.
But Mauricio Pochettino just made the Champions League final and with a dead squad. And I think improving that squad with what's his name, Ndombele and Lo Celso, adding all these new players in, quality players, it would definitely good for him. And Spurs, I can see Spurs challenging for the title and more trophies in the coming years. They're only improving.
Okay. So, but basically for me, I think if I'm Dybala, personally, it's a tough one. I think for me, I need assurances. If Sarri can assure me, and he can promise me that I'm guaranteed first team football with the Juve team, then I'll stay. So I'm hearing people in the chat room saying that Sarri is going to play Dybala and Sarri has big plans for Dybala. And I do think that Dybala actually would fit into the Sarri system personally. So if he has a future and a role 1,000%, play under Sarri and play with Juventus for sure. But if Sarri says, I have Rabiot, I have Ramsey plays your position, and Sarri says to Dybala, I'm sorry, I can't guarantee you. I'll play you, you'll be in my plans, but I cannot guarantee you first in football, then I really feel that Dybala should take that move to Tottenham, because at the end of the day, the reason why Dybala wasn't playing for Argentina and so forth was because the dude wasn't playing any games. So if you don't play any games, how can you be picked for the national side or for any national team? It makes no sense whatsoever. So that's where I'm coming from, because I mean, look, it's definitely a big move to make, a massive move to make, because Tottenham is a step down. 100%. If he moves to Tottenham, that is a massive step down from Juventus. But at the end of the day, people have to view it as the most important thing above anything is first team football. Would you rather play first team football for a 6th, 7th place side, or would you rather be on the bench playing 2 or 3 times for champions? Bro, I'd rather play I'd rather have first team football for a side in the top 6, top 7. So let's talk FIFA 20. So the FIFA 20 cover now has your boy The Verge and Zad. So neither Christina or Lionel Richie are going to be on the FIFA 20 cover. So I mean, is this maybe an inkling of where the Ballon d'Or is going to go? Because does this now mean that Zad could now get on the podium? Does that mean that people are now respecting what Zad actually does? Because if you're doing that, does this mean that we're going to get a podium of Van Dijk, Zad, and Messi? So let me give it to you, your boy. What's your thoughts on, first of all, do you feel that it's right that Van Dijk and Zad are on the FIFA 20 cover? And do you think this is maybe an indicator of who is going to be in the Ballon d'Or shortlist?
Yeah, definitely. I think Van Dijk is the Ballon d'Or winner for me. FIFA usually has a good idea of who the best players in the world are, by who they put on their covers. Dino was up there for years, and he was contending for Ballon d'Or. I think Van Dijk is the guy. Hazard, I'm a Chelsea fan as well, but I would put Hazard in top 5 contender, but I don't think he'll win.
Okay. So you wouldn't put Hazard in the top 3 then for the Ballon d'Or?
For me, no. I don't have him. My top 3 is Van Dijk, Messi, and I don't know who my other third one would be, but yeah, definitely Van Dijk and Messi, my top 2.
So you're saying after all Hazard did that season, after all he did that season, man, you're not going to put Zad in that top 3?
I'm not, man. I'm not. Look, I appreciate what he did for Chelsea for all those years, and I definitely appreciate what he did last year. He pretty much carried us to the Europa League final, scored twice. Fantastic player, man, and we're definitely going to miss him. But there's something about and like I said, he did lead us to a Champions League spot again as well. So we thank him for that. But I don't have him in my top 3 of Ballon d'Or.
Oh no, wait. People in the chat room saying Alisson. Are you sick in the head? Why Alisson? Based on what? Because Alisson is a very good keeper, but all because you kept clean sheets. You shouldn't be sniffing if you've been podium. Because for a keeper to get on the podium, it's what kind of saves did you make? How many match-winning saves did you make? You had an amazing defense in front of you, both for Brazil and for Liverpool. So please, club merchants out there, you cannot possibly tell me about Alisson being that's just being stupid. See, anybody saying that Alisson is top 3, you're just being a club merchant. You're just being a fanboy. And I don't know how to interact with fanboys. I can tell you football fans, but if a fanboy says, "Oh no, I support Liverpool, and only Liverpool players must be in this," I'm like, no, you're just being a clown. You're just being like, for me, if it's a top 3, obviously Messi and Dijk is there. For me, I think you have to look at either Bernardo Silva or Sterling, because City had despite them not winning the Champions League, they had such an exceptional season, a historic season for that thing. That for me, I think you have to pick between Zad, Sterling, and Bernardo Silva. But I think it's between Sterling and Bernardo Silva based on just what they won and just how well that they did. But if it's me, I'm moving more towards Sterling. But then you look at Bernardo Silva in the Nations League and look at how well he played in the Nations League, and that's like it's a tricky one though. So let me bring back Jane to this thing now. So how well do you think Hazard will do at Real Madrid. So the target on his back. He's in the front cover right now. A lot is expected of him. And guys, chill out. He's not too overweight, man. He's just, he will be trim come the new season. So how well do you expect Zad to do come the new season?
I think Zard is going to do well. I mean, he's going to be playing for the manager that he always wanted to play for in Zinedine Zidane. I've been watching every single one of his preseason games with Real Madrid. Going to watch him tonight versus Atletico. I think he's going to do well. I think people
but how well though? How well? Does he have an exceptional season? Does he lead Real Madrid to something? Does he have a medium season? How well does he do?
I don't think he has an exceptional season. If by exceptional you mean La Liga winner, Champions League winner, La Liga Player of the Year, most goals, no, he's not having that. I don't think so. As far as how well they'll do, I think they'll finish right behind Barcelona in La Liga and possibly have a good Champions League run.
Okay. So let me bring in. So chronicler man, who do you feel should be on that Ballon d'Or shortlist based off the FIFA 20 cover? Do you think Hazard should be in that top 3 of the Ballon d'Or shortlist? Chronicler. All right, I don't think it's just working. All right, now Sane, Leroy Sané. So basically, Leroy Sané has, well, Bayern apparently, from what I've read, maybe you guys in the chat can tell me. People have been telling me that Bayern have now officially opened up negotiations with Leroy Sané. And I read somewhere, one of my friends sent me an article saying that Pep Guardiola is not going to stop Leroy Sané from negotiating. The disrespect that Pep has shown Leroy Sané is quite frankly quite shocking, quite incredible. As in the fact that this guy is literally not fighting to keep such a talent is really scary, But it is what it is. But I'm going for Leroy Sané, and I said this before. Kingsley Coman is trash. Good is trash. Like I told you, I have no time for being medium. I'm very black and white. He's trash. You can't win anything if Kingsley Coman is your starting wing. He has talents. He may have a upside, but ultimately the dude is trash. So let me bring in your boy. Do you think that Bayern should go all in for Leroy Sané? Do you think he is the man to potentially replace Robin and Ribery's influence on the team?
Absolutely. I love Leroy Sané. I'm a big Bundesliga fan, so I watched him when he was at Schalke. I've always been a fan of him. I like those taller wingers like Cristiano and Leroy, those guys over 6 feet. I think he would do great at Bayern. I agree with you. He should replace Kingsley Coman on the wings and replacing Robin and Ribery, what they did at Bayern. I think they should go all in, man. This guy, he's the guy of the future for me.
Oh, Sane.
Yeah, Sane, Leroy Sané.
Okay, so wait, this dude said that it's disrespectful to not fight for Sane when he wants to leave. Why does Sane want to leave, my dear friend? The reason why he wants to leave is because he's made to feel unwanted. It's as simple as that. So don't try and get smart with me. He only wants to leave because he's being disrespected, that he is not feeling wanted. Because this dude, he's on the bench, he's not really felt ingratiated into the squad, he's not made love, he's not been made to feel wanted. And when you know that you're that talented and you're not made to feel wanted, then you'd want to leave. So I put the blame squarely on Bayern for not really being able to properly utilize and appreciate your boy Leroy Sané. So tell me your views. Yes, can you turn off your webcam? So because we're not using webcams, turn off your cam, Mr. Yas. I don't know why we're looking at your bloody feet, man. This is not a triple X stream. So yes, can you please tell me, is Leroy Sané the right man to replace Ribery and Robin for Bayern Munich? Say yes. Are you there? Going once, going twice. You're right there. All right, let me see. Bring in your boy DC. So DC, Sané to move for Bayern. DC.
Yeah, I think this is the best decision Bayern have made in a while. This is quite easily a good decision.
But how well do you think Sané can do for Bayern?
Well, we've already seen him with Germany with Gnabry, with his partnership with Gnabry, and I think if Bayern can add a quality center forward and a quality center back, they could possibly win the Champions League next year.
Champions League. Oh wow. Okay. I mean that's pretty big. So
because
even
that
let's
front line is really scary.
Of what?
The speed, Gnabry and Sane together. We've already seen this with Germany.
I mean,
Especially
no. It's no. I mean, you see, that's the key thing, and that is why I've always been trying to say for Bayern Munich that they should really try and push for this move because Leroy Sané and Gnabry they play together in Germany, and because they play together at Germany, that has really been able to help them to form an understanding. But I think even beyond that, I think Gnabry has a lot of improving to do. He can definitely get better. I think Leroy Sané is already one of the best wingers in the world. And Leroy Sané can still improve because he's still young. But I already rated Leroy Sané as one of the top wingers in the world. So it's in Bayern's court. But as you were saying, is that enough to win a Champions League? I don't know. It's not because I don't trust Lewandowski.
No. If they add another world-class striker and a world-class defender.
Then there we go. Let me bring in Jay. Okay, so Jay, what chances do you? So let's say Bayern they buy Leroy Sané. What chances do you give Bayern of winning the Champions League? Keeping in mind that Lewandowski has been a perennial flop in Europe.
I know you. You got your hate against Lewandowski, and I understand. He hasn't been the best striker as of late, but I still think Lewandowski has it in him. If they buy Leroy Sané, I'm not going to sit here and say they're favorites, but could I see some kind of? Can I see them make a run? Yeah, I could see them make a run in the Champions League.
I mean, but how far do you think they can get if they have Leroy Sané in the team? I mean, do you think that do you think if they just buy Leroy Sané and that's it, do you think that that's enough for them to win the whole thing?
Oh no. They need way more than that. If they buy Leroy Sané and nobody else, I give them quarterfinals.
Wow, quarterfinals, man. All right, so basically, the Pogba situation is still something that we're still monitoring in right now, and I think I always believed that this guy was pretty much destined to go. But is there a scenario where Pogba stays at Man United and turns things around? Because again, Pogba has had a lot of hits thrown his way, and as I've always said, look at who he has to deal with around him. Look at who he has to deal with around him. So, bringing in Jay, do you keep the faith, stay at United and turn things around, or do you push for a move to Real Madrid, knowing of the pressures that exist at Real Madrid?
I'm pushing for a move to Real Madrid 100%. Here's why: Zinedine Zidane is regarded as one of the greatest midfielders of all time, right? He was French. He was playing the French national team. He knows exactly what Pogba is capable of, and I think he could bring that old Juve Pogba out of Pogba. For me, if I'm Pogba, there's no way I'm staying at Man U. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the coach, man. We got to just keep it a buck. He's not going to bring Man United back to glory. He's not taking them back to the Champions League. There's nothing that Pogba can do for Man United at this point. You're playing with guys like Marcus Rashford, who's good, but he's not top class. Playing with guys isn't Ashley Young still there? He didn't leave. I know they got Wan-Bissaka, but what else do they have there? There's nothing else Pogba can do there.
No. I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, that's the reality because look, I mean, if you're gonna bring in top players, like if they bought Verratti, they brought Rabiot, they brought in Zaha, and so forth. They got Koulibaly along with Van Bissaka and everything. Then it's like, wow, you're now really building a proper team and a squad where Pogba can flourish. They haven't bought that. Daniel, who the hell is Daniel James? Who the hell is that? I've never heard of a dude called Daniel James. So all because this guy is like speedy is the white. So you literally bought the white Usain Bolt, and because you bought the white Usain Bolt, you think Pogba will not stay? No, I don't think so. So for me, I think United have just resents the fact that you've lost Pogba, cash in on him, and the best way to do is just cash in on him and then move you go. But Jay, since you're here and as you said you're in, how well do you think Chelsea can do next season under Lampard? Transfer ban, no Hazard. People are already preparing for the American hero Pulisic to fail. What chances do you give Lampard and Chelsea next season? Juju Man says group stage max in the Champions League. What chances do you give of Chelsea next season?
Well, with the Premier League, I say he gets top 5. I know that sounds crazy. How could a new coach come in and turn around that squad with all those young players and beat out the Man United and the Tottenham and the Arsenal? I think he could do it, man. As far as Champions League, Juju Man says group stage. Yeah, I say group stage too because the players that are in there now aren't going to have a lot of Champions League experience. Yeah, you got Willian and Pedro and Giroud, but you still got the Mason Mounts, the Reece James when he comes back, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who has experience, but he's not a veteran of the Champions League. So I would probably say group stage max as well.
Yeah, for me, I mean, the way I see it, it's like you just simply never know, man. You just simply never know, because I always use the example of Monaco, maybe to a lesser degree Dortmund. What if to click? Like, what if these guys really begin to click? They form a great chemistry, and that Lampard can just create a specific understanding within the team that just makes them effective. Like, if he can do that, then who knows what these guys can do? Who knows what the hell these guys can achieve? Like, I'm like, I love those open two games. I love the game against United. I love the Super Cup game against Liverpool. I think those are 2 games to really. You don't want to start small. I think those are 2 great games to really start the engine running and let this young team really face the test away at Old Trafford and the Super Cup against the Champions League winners in Liverpool. So, Jay, those 2 Chelsea faring, the first game against United and the other game against Liverpool in the Super Cup.
What was the question?
So, how do you think Chelsea will fare? Opening game of the season is away at Old Trafford to Man United, and then I believe that the next game a week later is the Super Cup final against Liverpool.
I think we beat Man United and lose to Liverpool. We beat Man United because, for lately, I think we pretty much had their number. Not as far as like beating them, but we always play well. I think maybe the guys come out rejuvenated, eager to impress Lampard and put in a good effort and pull out a win versus Man U. And I just think we lose to Liverpool simply because they're a better team. I mean, they made a Champions League final last year, won it. They've got the better players, the more experienced players. I think they should beat us on that one in the Super Cup.
Okay, all right, man. Okay, so guys, look, man, I think that's just going to pretty much round off this show here. I think it was unfortunate that we couldn't really get in the other guys here because I think guys just have to induct your mics, man, and everything. But just before I go again, thanks very much for Jay for coming on. I know you were a really great guest, and for the other guys, man, don't buy your mics from Siberia. Buy them from America, UK, something. Don't buy your mics from Siberia, please. So, but let me just end with this. I saw a tweet out about Pep and about people comparing Pep to Uncle Mo and all of Pep's achievements and his head-to-head against Uncle Mo, which was great. And you brought all the stats and everything. Let me just leave with this. Until Pep Guardiola wins the Champions League without Lionel Messi, I don't want to ever hear Guardiola mentioned in the same breath as Uncle Mo. Let me repeat that one last time for the kids at the back. Until Pep Guardiola, who claimed he destroyed football, wins a CL without Lionel Messi, never ever puts him in the same breath as one of the greatest managers of all time. Peace out. Stay true. Stay real. Peace out, guys. Peace.